Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of the Insta Roundtable. And today is a very special episode. We have today the leaders and senior folks from EY and Roblox. Our topic for today is the impact of global economic shifts on talent sourcing. And today we have Anshula Verma. She's the national head of talent acquisition at EY, and Amit Babbar is the senior director talent acquisition at Roblox. So I'll start with a small introduction of Anshula. So over to you, Anshula. Brief introduction about yourself and what exciting are we building at UI.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I'm delighted to be a part of the forum and thank you for considering me. Glad to be connected with whoever is listening to us right now. My name is Anshula Verma, as Sharbjit introduced me. I have spent close to 23 plus years in the industry now. I've been in talent acquisition all through. Strangely, I was a science student, till my graduation. Had nothing to do with HR or corporate, and I wanted to become a doctor. My parents wanted me to become a doctor, and from there the journey started, because I think somewhere in the entire academics, from between my graduation to my MBA, my post graduation, I just realized there is this very intrinsic interest that I have in people and making connects and networking and just knowing them more. And I think that's where first time my journey towards anything to do with human resources started. Obviously, I did my MBA after that, 2 years full time from Dehradun. I came back to Delhi. My first assignment was an HR generalist role, and I had no idea how to manage that. So from there, I think the learning journey started. Got some great mentors during my journey, and I owe a lot to them, to what I am and who I have become as a professional, as a person today. Besides that, I'm a mother of two. I'm a single parent. That is another journey, managing two children and had a traveling job. So work-life balance was important, and that was that was another level of mastery that one needs to do when you are juggling between two big priorities. But overall, I think right from managing people to professional excellence to family, it has been such an amazing roller coaster ride that I have just so many anecdotes and so many stories now, and when I look back, it only brings back good memories and some motivation to do much more.
Okay, great. Lovely to have you, Anshula, on our Insta Roundtable. We'll have a great discussion. So, welcome Amit Babbar, who is from Roblox, and he's a senior director, talent acquisition at Roblox. So, hi Amit. So, a brief about yourself and what exciting are we building at Roblox?
Sure, Sarbojit. Again, thanks for having me. It's great to be with you, Jushe, Anshula, and everyone who is listening. As you mentioned, my name is Amit Babbar. I am working with Roblox as a senior director, talent acquisition, and also working as supporting them as a site lead for the India office. Similar to Anshula, my journey also started with science, but on the non-medical side. I did my engineering in information sciences. My first job from campus was with Sapient Corporation. I started in software development, but soon the realization was confirmed that I'm not meant to be an engineer. And at that time, like most of the engineers in India, I was trying to see what else can I do, where can I make my career. And recruiting happened by chance, but it happened to be first love of my life. And started working with a US staffing agency. When I picked up the phone, talked to first candidate, sourced first few candidates, I knew I'm loving it. And it has continued since then. It has continued for around 19 years now. This is my fourth company in a row where I'm the first person to join in the talent acquisition space in India. And third global company in a row where I happen to be the first employee as far as India operations are concerned. I love building things from scratch.
Hmm.
And with Roblox, I'm very excited to be here. Joined them around 3.5 months back. We are building a new office in India. Roblox is world's fifth largest gaming and social experiences organization with more than 70 million daily active users. And
Okay.
we have thousands of community developers building new experiences for our builders and gamers every day. And I'm really excited about the innovation culture. A lot of companies say that, but I'm living that now and enjoying it.
Great. Great to have you, Amit. Lovely to see your journey. So I have a small question again to know our speakers better for our folks who have joined us. So the first question from my side for Anshula, we'll start with Anshula and then we'll go to Amit. A few words about your journey, Anshula, from childhood to becoming a talent acquisition leader expert. So a few words about your journey from childhood. So how did you end up there? Like we have covered a lot, a
Yeah,
bit
I
of
know.
it. Yeah. So yeah.
I know, and I'll just add to what I said. So, talent acquisition was a conscious choice, because when I was doing the generalist role when I started, I think I just realized that this game has to be a specialized game. I have to become a
Okay.
subject matter expert, and that's where I think I picked up talent acquisition. The another reason was that, from the graduation of the time, it dawned on me that I want to make connects and I want to be with people. I thought the best connect that I will make is when I'm connected with the candidates, I'm connected with the search firms and the larger universe of the people who support us in hiring talent, and I'm connected with my internal stakeholders. I
Mhm.
thought this is a three dimension that I want to touch, and not just one dimension of what the larger HR would have probably exposed me to. And believe me, I mean, talent acquisition has been such an exciting and high adrenaline, if I can say so. For all of us, in terms of assessing people, bringing them on board, seeing them grow. And it's like you're creating a product, and you see that out in the market and people loving it. So that's the kind of sense of achievement that I have felt ever since. I've nurtured large teams. There are a lot of digital transformation that I've been a part of. That is an add-on which I never thought a talent acquisition person or a HR person would ever get involved. I mean, that's a domain that belongs to technology.
Hmm.
So overall, I think I can't, I can't just stop boasting about in the kind of journey I've had so far.
Great. Lovely to meet you again, Anshula, for like different aspects of you.
Thank you.
Amit. So a few words about your journey from your childhood and to becoming this talent acquisition leader and expert.
Sure. So childhood was in a small city,
Hmm.
Rohtak. Grew up there, did my schooling, then went on to do engineering. During childhood, didn't even know about like this talent acquisition as a separate stream altogether.
Okay.
Like there are jobs in engineering, sciences, teaching, HR, but you know, coming to a metro city, realizing there are so many more jobs than being an engineer or a doctor was eye opening. And talent acquisition is just in the blood now. So
Hmm.
life has completely transformed, and for the good. So yeah.
Okay, great. So let's start off the other question which I have. We'll start off. We'll continue with Amit, and then we'll go to Anshula. So, what are the most significant global economic trends today? And let's talk about the top two according to you. What are the top two economic trends which you see shaping up today?
Sure. I will say, and I will mix. The first one is a combination of economic plus technology, I will say. See,
Okay.
first COVID and then global slowdown over last
Okay.
couple of years has, I think, brought in this change that there is a need to do more with less.
Yeah.
And that's where economically companies are looking at tools, technologies, bringing to help with more automations, generative AI. Like everyone's talking of generative AI, uh, and it's starting to show its impact in all the industries, including
Hmm.
tea.
Hmm.
Second one, this is again my observation, and some of it is through the recent news where the Fed recently mentioned that they will cut down on interest rates in US sometime this year.
Mhm.
Once that starts happening, there will be more liquidity in the market. So
Okay.
that would really reshape the economic scenario throughout the globe. More liquidity will mean companies will invest more. Like India has been doing great over the last couple of years, but if you look at US, Europe, because of high interest rates and high inflation, there's very less liquidity in the market for companies and for people in general. But with interest rates potentially coming down this year, it would lead to more liquidity, companies getting money with on less rate of interest, more companies going public, more investments happening through these, through this money, more hiring, right?
Yeah.
That's what it will ultimately lead to. So I think these two things I'm very keenly looking at, and it will be an interesting world with these
Super.
changes. Yeah.
Super insights, I think. So Anshula, I come over to you. What are the two most significant global economic trends today, and what, like, according to you, what are the top two amongst all of it?
Well, interesting times. 72 countries are going to go into elections this year in FY24.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
that's going to change a lot how the businesses will go, what will be the future, where will we land. And that is going to have a very direct impact on the talent acquisition or talent overall,
Mm-hmm.
nurturing as well as the acquisition part of it. But having
Okay.
said that, I think two significant trends in today's scenario, and path breaking trends, if I can say so, has been one is remote working and the whole globalization, which is the availability of broad talent pool across countries and not restricted to your own region or your own country when it comes to hiring. And the second one is the shift of employers from academic pedigree based hiring to a
Mm.
skill based hiring. Gone are the days when you will see the employers asking for, they may still ask for good academics, good colleges, experience in certain competencies, experience in certain kind of organizations or sectors for that matter. But there is a huge shift which is happening on skill based hiring or reskilling for that matter. I think we have for the first time broken the barriers of bringing people on board for the potential that they bring and not for the experience that they bring. And we're very open, and employers are very open to be giving them the kind of skill or the training on the skills that is required and putting them where they belong.
Hmm.
These two things I feel are game changers for the industry today.
Great. So, Anshula, like, continuing with you on this, the next part, how, in your opinion, are they impacting like talent acquisition? We have talked about, your first point was remote work and global hiring, like you
Yeah.
can hire from anywhere, and second was from shift from pedigree based hiring, like, to skill based, like
Right.
entirely skill based hiring. So, how are they impacting talent acquisition as of now? These two skills, these two trends, what you have mentioned.
Well, the first part is the increased competition. You have larger pool. Earlier, we were competing only with the talent within our country. Now we're competing with the entire globe.
Yes.
And people are not required to even travel to add value. I mean, they can be wherever they are and they can still work for the organizations, right? So
Hmm.
I'm actually, and my education or my upbringing or my cultural orientation, all of that could have been from the childhood very aligned to my own country. But today, I am supposed to be learning on the job to be able to interact with countries, with people from different countries, people coming from different cultures. Now, that's a
Yes.
big shift, I would say, in terms of impact that these new trends are bringing. The
Hmm.
other one is, the focus on skills and competencies, which I would say is again, both the trends are good for us, or the impact is good only for us. We're saying a lot of times, when we used to go and hire, the general perception was if I'm getting a person from a top notch Ivy League organized colleges, they're supposed to be good.
Yeah.
The fact is, humans are humans, right? Nobody can be good in the ultimate form, uh, and that is something which is now, with organizations giving more leeway to, or having more adaptation capability
Hmm.
of getting people on based on skills. I think this is another thing which is bringing a lot of diversity in the workforce that we are creating. So
Hmm.
I think these are interesting times, Shabjit, if I can say so.
Also, Anshula, according to you, like you have told about move from pedigree to skill based. Do you think this has also created a kind of there was at times like when we used to be in college, there was a times that the higher salaries and the higher money used to go to top notch colleges, and right now it's more of a level playing ground based on your skill. So if you're skillful, you can adopt, you can learn continuously, you are getting a very good job. But on the other hand, if you are very from a very good college but you're not that skillful, but only that entrance exam which you cleared, that's it. So
Right.
that might also create a lot of it's a level playing out here, right? I think that has also been one of the key shifts in talent sourcing.
You're absolutely right. I mean, this is for the first time we are seeing that there is, equality in terms of, and compensation. I don't want to start by saying compensation because we still have some distance to travel
Hmm.
to become, equitable in terms of compensation.
Hmm.
There is still some little bias which is still left, but I'm saying largely, at least the big organizations have started opening doors and opening their mindsets
Yeah.
to adapting to the culture of bringing people. If there is somebody brings a certain skill which is rare
Hmm.
in the country, doesn't matter where you come from, as
Hmm.
long as you're able to add value and you can create the qualitative solutions using that skill, I think they are getting rid of their mindset of not putting them at par with the person who probably is more senior and is making the same amount of money,
Hmm.
right? So and I think it is not only for the employers to change their mindset, it is also of the fellow colleagues. As colleagues, it is very difficult for us to accept the fact that somebody who's like 4 years junior is getting the same money,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes.
this is basically that you're paying or you're making that money for the skill that you bring and
Hmm.
not for the other frills that you had, which is in terms of just the college or just the experience of working with certain set of organizations. I think this is future, Shabjit.
Hmm.
I totally feel this is future, and this will bring a lot of, I would say, equality in the workforce, and probably will take away the grouse that people had, earlier in
Hmm.
terms of the biases, the so-called biases in the corporate.
Great. So I think we got a lot of new pointers here. So we'll move on to Amit. So Amit, you have explained that there are two sets which you have explained, two top trends. Number one was due to COVID and due to slowdown. There was a lot of like shift from human kind of intervention to automation, like Chat GPT and other technological tools which were used. And the second was due to like lowering of interest rate. We can see a lot of liquidity, a lot of cash flow flowing into the market, and a lot of companies getting funded, and the salaries might also go up. So these two trends, like first is more on tech, second is more salaries or more funding. What do you think the impact on the talent sourcing will be due to these top two trends which you have mentioned?
Sure. And I'll talk more about from the perspective of like talent acquisition professionals,
Okay.
the recruiters, the sourcers, the coordinators. I think TA as an industry has not been disrupted for a very, very long time.
Mm,
Right?
okay.
Like last couple of decades, if we see, like since I have started working in TA,
Mm,
it's kind of remained the same except for like some minor changes here and there. And I think it is going towards disruption now. We are seeing some changes. For example, AI helping with building, like creating job descriptions quickly. So
mm,
AI
yeah.
helping, some tools helping with like doing coordination, recruiting coordination better,
Mm,
stuff like that. But it's in pockets. I think in coming times we'll potentially see recruiting getting more disrupted, getting more efficient, And I think from a TA professional's perspective, it is important that they embrace the change, learn new tools, adopt these tools versus getting scared about them, right? Versus feeling insecure. I think the TA professionals who would learn, adopt, and start using them to do their job better will become very successful. And I think there is space for them. There's no need to feel insecure at this stage. Uh, so I think that's one. Like that's on the first side, and second side, if interest rates go down, which is potentially happening this year, with more money coming in the market, companies again investing more in growth globally. I think what we will see. Let me take a step back. Like after COVID, we saw a time when it was employees market, candidates having like 4, 5, 6 offers, right? Then tables turned, it became an employer's market, and globally there's been dearth of job opportunities. Uh, to the coming time, I think it will be a balance of two. We'll again see hiring picking up globally, opportunities coming up for the right people, more jobs in market, including tea. Like India, as I mentioned earlier, has been doing great. But if you look at US as an example, like Meta at one point of time had around 7,000 recruiters. They reduced their team to like 500 people, right? Things like that are going to change. We are again going to see job opportunities for support functions like HR, and that would be good, because there'll be more hiring. But it will be, the expectations will be doing more with less. So leveraging tools and technologies more versus putting more humans to solve every problem. So it will not be linear growth. So if you have like X jobs today and you have Y recruiters, so 5X jobs will not mean 5Y recruiters. It can potentially mean like 2Y recruiters who are using better technologies and helping companies succeed.
Okay, great. So continuing with Amit on this, like, what do you think should be one strategy so which other sectors or all sectors can adopt to this to adopt to do talent sourcing, like to global economic shifts? Like when we say about a universal strategy for all sectors to adopt, so what can be that strategy which companies can adopt for talent sourcing, which can help them to tide along the global economic shifts which were happening?
Yeah, I think one important thing is continuing to invest in their talent teams.
Okay.
I gave the example of Meta, and there are so many other examples globally where companies quickly, ramped down on their TA teams, and later on they had to hire more contract staff to help, fill some of the roles, which meant delay in ramping up TA teams, delay in ramping up then their engineering teams, and so on so forth. So I think one thing which all sectors should continue to do is invest in TA, build strong teams, invest in the tools and technologies as well, continue to explore new tools in the market, right? It's one thing to say like we are, going towards automation, we love AI, every company is talking that, right? But actually, being open to having those discussions with new tools, trying them out, asking your teams to try them out, enabling your teams to use those tools, right? That's very important, and that will give confidence to the TA teams as well, that the companies are backing them up in this war for talent. Yeah.
Okay, great. So moving on to Anshula on this, on the same question. So what's that universal strategy for all sectors who to adopt to the talent sourcing when we have this economic shifts going on?
So I think first is I agree with Amit that there is this whole hangama around the digitization. The whole adapting digital transformation and the tools and AI tools and Gen AI tools. And now, as much as it is making the life easy and it is also bringing process efficiencies or accuracies, it is also making a lot of people jittery. right? It is also making a lot of people insecure. I think the crux here lies with the employers giving security to their teams in terms of, one, adapting the technology and new ways of doing things gracefully, and not and focusing on something which will be a value add to a machine. So if you are able to do 30% of your talent acquisition roadmap, or a candidate life cycle through an AI tool, what can you do as a value add to the remaining 70% that is left for the talent acquisition, or the recruiters are who are managing that process? I think that is not defined. Everybody is either, half of them are either scared, and rest half of them are probably in denial, to say nothing's going to happen to my job, and we will sail through. I think we somewhere have to have a sort of harmony between the two thought processes right now that's going on in the market.
Okay.
Second is, because we're talking so much of upskilling and skill based hiring, there is a lot of personalization or customization which is required in the curriculum. And when we hire from campuses, they actually, so one, there has to be seriousness from hiring from the campuses, because that makes the base of the organization. When you hire freshers, when you hire students from the colleges, they actually create the first layer of any organization. Now, if you have hired them from colleges which are already, where they have learned only the curated courses and a conventional learning that they have had year on year, probably they may have difficulty in bringing the kind of value that you want them to bring. So
Okay.
maybe co-curating some courses for some specialized skills will probably help the community at large, and obviously individually the employers, because then you get a lot of customized talent, ready to be up and running from day one.
Okay.
So these are the two things, Sabhijit, from me.
Okay, so like a lot of industry and academic curriculum should
Yeah.
be intermatched, and they should work together to create.
Right.
Great. So got like very lovely answers for the question. Like I think a lot of recruiters who are listening to this, a lot of founders who are listening to this, will get a lot of key takeaways from this. Moving on with Anshula. So Anshula, this is my last question from the main questions which I have. Like, what is that one achievement which you love to share with our audience today? And it could be from your personal or professional experience. And so anything special which you want to share with our audience with that one achievement?
I think besides managing the work life priorities, which is always tricky for everybody, and I'm no exception over here, I think one thing that used to make me very nervous when I was a young manager, and this, I think my heart goes out to all the young managers who are listening to me now, or who would be listening to me later, as a part of the recording of this program. I think one of the very tricky things about being new manager is to manage the team. And by managing the team, see, you're managing not the team, not the number of people, not the head count. You're managing emotions. You're managing people who are coming with their own set of anxieties, their own set of issues, their own set of fears, and their own set of personality. It's not easy. We are not gods, right? We don't know what goes on with people. It's very, very difficult for us to manage the art of delegating, the art of empathy, the art of, managing the emotions of everybody, taking them all together as a collaboration, and then creating, solutions day in, day out, because you have to deliver. So you have to be a little hard in one way, and you have to be soft because you're dealing with people. They are the ones who are making you successful. No manager can today stand and say, I'm successful because I worked on it. Your team is always, you're as successful as your team is. So I would say that is one achievement, from the time I was a young manager to now, when I'm leading very large teams in a large organization like EY. I think there's a lot of learning that I have got for myself. And I think that is the biggest asset that I have earned for myself by virtue of working with diverse teams in different organizations, including EY, of course, which is the largest in it.
Great, Anshula. Lovely to hear from that, from your experience. So Amit, what about you? Like anything, any achievement, which one achievement which you want to share with our audience today, can be from your personal or professional one. So, like, go ahead, please.
Oh, sure, Subhajit. I briefly mentioned it earlier, but I'll just explain a little bit.
Okay.
So this is the third company in a row where I happen to be the first India operations employee, or I joined to set up their global capability center. You call it GCC, you call it COE, right? Uh, and I've been lucky. I've got this opportunity a few times, and the
Okay.
pleasure of generating jobs for the country. Right.
Hmm.
When you join as a first employee, it's typically a pilot. They call it or they don't call it. So they are there. You are the guinea pig. They're testing with you, right? And two of these companies have been like Nasdaq listed. So starting from scratch, hiring first employee, second employee, third employee, and in my last to last job, we are now like they were like 800 people now. Last job 100 people, and now we have just started this journey where we are close to 10 people now, less than 10 people now. So the pleasure of creating jobs for the country, bringing in the US dollars for the Indian economy,
Okay.
it gives me goosebumps. It gives me, you know, it makes me ecstatic. And then the people you end up hiring hire more people. So the jobs which are originally being done in US and Europe, helping them bringing them to India is, I would say, my humble achievement.
Great, great, great. Lovely to have your stories here. So we'll move on to the next section. We have a lot of audience questions right now. An audience question came in. My team has sent me, which is from Anusha. Anusha asks, how recruiters can improve their closing deals. Like how they can improve their. I think the strategy of closing deals. Closing deals will mean like getting the best candidates onboarded, or like getting the final say and making them from a job seeker to an employee in the company. So this is from Anusha. Anybody can answer. Any strategies you want to tell them to how to do that?
I'm happy. Anshul, if you want to take
No,
it.
no, go ahead, Amit.
Sure. So in terms of closing, so my suggestion to recruiter would be, not just focusing on the comp,
Hmm.
right? It is very important that the person we are bringing in has the right values, right? Is a good fit for the role, but also good fit for the team and the company, right? And when we are closing the candidate, like making sure that they check all these three boxes. Plus, when you are closing and selling the last bit, it should not just be the comp, but also the growth path, the benefits, the work-life balance, etc. The candidate at the end of the day should not choose you because you're paying most, but they should choose you because of the value you bring to the organization.
I think some network issues, guys.
Yeah, the screen is frozen.
Hello, Amit. Can you hear me?
Anyway, I'll take on from here by the time Amit comes back. And then just adding to what Amit said, Shobhajit, I personally feel, and I tell this to my team also very often, that converting a passive candidate to an active candidate is a real achievement for a recruiter. Anybody who's already looking out for a job, I would say it's good for you to get the person on board, but it's not, it's not the real achievement. I think the real kick that one should get is when you're converting a passive candidate who's not looking out for a job, and you converted the person. And one mantra that always works is when you convey your own pride and passion for the brand that for which you're bringing the person. When you talk very highly of your own firm, and when you know everything about the role that you're landing, your own knowledge, your own energy, your own sense of pride
Mm-hmm.
for the brand that you're associated with, it's contagious. It's very difficult for it will be very difficult for the candidate to turn that down at least first meeting. At least one meeting you will definitely get the commitment for, and then obviously it is a career decision for the candidate to go forward or not go forward. But for us, getting the candidate on the table at least for that first exploratory meeting is an achievement by itself. So, but I think Amit is back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, there was some network issue.
Okay. You can conclude your statement.
I think Anshula, helped me do that. So thank you, Anshula. But yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. So the next question came in. So from folks who are just starting off in their TA careers, or like in the initial stages of their TA careers, what's that one key piece of advice you want to tell to these young TA professionals?
I can take that, Amit. And you, I'm sure you would have loads of things to add. I think one thing I always feel is questioning. Just question. And I'm not saying questioning doesn't mean interviewing. Questioning is just trying to know more about the candidate. The more you know about the candidate, the more you will understand the person better, and you would probably not be doing a wrong sort of fitment, of the person. You would actually align the person where the person's passions lies or aspiration lie. Questioning is also internal. Question your stakeholders, question your hiring managers, question them on why do they need this resource, why this skill and not something else. What do you think they are going to do with this candidate? Is this a replacement position? If it is a replacement position, what happened to the previous guy? What do they expect from this guy to come and do? All of these questions and much more. Question your boss, right? I tell this to my team all the time. I said, if you are sitting in a meeting and telling all the thing or everything that I'm saying, you're saying yes to that, I have a problem. Because then I am running the show, which is bad for you, which is bad for me. You have to question me, you have to challenge me, you have to disagree with me. And I think all the young recruiters and until the time you grow old, just do not stop questioning. More questions, more answer, more knowledge.
Lovely insight for a young recruiter watching this. So Amit, your take on this? Anything you want to say to advice for young TA professionals who are just starting off?
Sure, I have Anshula was right. I have a lot of advices. Some of it she already covered, but one thing I would mention is, and currently I'm hiring for my team. So when I review the resumes, when I look at the applicants, so many people, so many TA professionals are changing jobs like every 1.5 years. Sometimes, you're looking at people with 5 years of experience with 4 jobs. Trust me, it's a turn off, right? So my suggestion to young TA professionals would be, when you're signing up for a job, stick to it. When you are there with a company for few years, you see the ups and downs, and you have your moments, and you have your moments when you lose. It's okay, right? That's how you grow. Like, prove yourself, earn those 1 or 2 promotions, right? Don't change a job for few extra 1,000 rupees every now and then. Make a career, right? Anshula is an example in front of us, right? Look at her, 14 years with EY and such a glowing career, right? And that happens when you go through those ups and downs, right? There are moments when you are growing, when you're getting all the accolades, you're getting all the recognitions, and then there are moments when you see your peers getting it and you are not getting that promotion that you were aiming for. But then talk to your boss, understand your weaknesses, understand what it takes, what does next level mean, how can you achieve it, make it your aim, earn it there, versus hopping jobs every now and then. I think that would make a very good career for you, versus few more bucks every year.
Okay, great insights. I think for a young professional who is listening to this or will listen to this, it is a lovely piece of advice from very senior folks coming in. Okay, so we move on to the next part, which is the candidate question. So the candidate question for this show will be, what's the most effective way of job seekers to showcase their unique strengths during an interview? So both of you can answer, like one by one. You can go ahead, and we will publish this for our candidates.
Anshula, do you want to take it?
No, go ahead, Amit. Yeah,
sure.
thoughts.
I'm happy to. Sure. So I think for candidates, I will say, it starts with when the interview starts and they are introducing themselves, right?
Okay.
So that is an opportunity for candidates to be at the driver's seat,
Mhm.
right? Mention the points in a very subtle way. Mention your achievements, be it academic, be it in your previous jobs. You're in a subconscious way, you are, making the other person ask you about those things which you already prepared, right? So that's one. Second thing I would say, give very specific examples, right? When what I see in a lot of interviews is people talk about very generic things. What as interviewers we are looking for is specific examples, and tell us the detail, like what was the situation, what was your response, how did it change the problem statement, when what was the result. So we are looking for specific examples, and you use the word unique, right? And that's
Mhm.
where culturally, as Indians, we are, when we are interviewing, we tell, and when we are giving examples, we say, we did this, we did that. And, that confuses the interviewer. So, talk about what was your contribution? It's good to talk about teamwork, but when you're giving your example of your work, it's good to talk about what was your contribution to that project and how did that impacted the result. uh,
Okay.
my last piece of advice would be like, stay enthusiastic, right? Do good research about the company, good research about their product, the department, and be vocal about it very enthusiastically. Yeah, over to
Great.
you, Salam.
Great. So a lot of job seekers listening to this will have their notepads out. So thank you, Amit. Over to you, Anshula. So your advice on how
So
to.
Amit has practically stolen all the points. But great points, Amit. Great points. I couldn't agree more. And I think this is exactly what the employers and as interviewers for doing this for 20 years now, I totally look for all of these 4 or 5 aspects. I mean, that you articulated. I think one thing that I want to just, probably put over and above that also will be the whole demeanor when you walk in. You have to be well dressed, you have to be representing yourself really well, there has to be a personal brand that you are building. Whether you're selected, not selected, doesn't matter. You should leave an impression on the, and believe me, I have seen so many times we meet somebody, we're not able to hire that somebody, but that person has left such a lasting effect on us, impact on us, that we remember and we go back after a year and we check and we've hired such people. And this is not a story one off, it
Mhm.
happens many many times. So leave that impression on your interviewers, and you see the magic.
Great. Lovely insights from Anshula also. I think we'll now move on to the fun part of the discussion, which is a rapid fire round. So in the rapid fire round, I will ask you a few questions. Whatever comes in your head first, you can just blurt it out. And who wants to go first, you can let me know. So we can start off.
Either of us, you choose.
Yeah, everybody's fine.
Okay, we'll start with Anshula then. So let's start with Anshula then.
Mhm.
Okay, so Anshula, let's start. Okay, so morning routine, yoga, quick workout, or TV.
Yoga.
You, if you could ditch one gadget from your work life forever, what would that be? Smartphone or a laptop?
Television, because Netflix eats away all my time. But yeah, laptop is fine.
Laptop you want to ditch?
phone
Okay, sure.
phone is mini laptop these days, so I can do without it.
Okay, okay. If you could mentor anyone in history, who would it be? Who would it be? Steve Jobs or Albert Einstein or anyone else?
Oops.
Mentoring them.
Anyone else I would take, because I was very touched with Marilyn Monroe. So there was a docu series, and I think she had an amazing career. But when I was looking at it, I think there was just so many things I could, I thought if she had got the guidance, she would have done so much better for herself. And I'm a diehard fan, so
Okay.
Marilyn Monroe.
And Monroe will be. Okay. What's that critical skill for future talent? Emotional intelligence or technical expertise?
EQ, emotional intelligence, Chojit, any day. Because
Okay.
anything regarding technology is going to take its evolution, it's the way it is happening in a natural course. So
Great.
EQ.
Okay. Networking preference, coffee meetings or professional conferences?
Coffee meeting any day.
Coffee meeting. Okay. Ideal vacation, exploring a new city or relaxing on a beach?
Exploring a new city.
Okay. If you could be world famous for 24 hours, what would you do?
Wow. I'll hide. Because becoming world famous can bring a lot of grief of its own kind. And I think I will be relaxing on that beach of the previous question, reading a book, while people can chase and try to find me. But yeah, I'm not going to capitalize on it. I'm that way boring.
Great, great. Thank you, Anshula. Thank you for your answers. Thank you
Thank
for being
you.
a support. So let's move on to Amit now. So Amit, your questions are on the way. So what's your Amit? So what's your first app check-in in the morning? LinkedIn, Twitter, or Outlook?
Usually it's Slack because
Okay.
because
Okay.
a lot of my team is in California. So when I get up, I just want to catch up with things. Yeah.
Okay. ठीक है. What's your go-to productivity tool?
Laptop. You mean hardware tool, right?
Hardware or software tool also you can
Yeah.
mention. Okay.
So yeah, laptop is that's it.
Okay. One book that inspired you professionally.
Oh, professionally, I will say, oh God, there is this book by Netflix's CHRO.
Hmm.
It's a I'm forgetting the name of the book, but it talks about empowering employees.
Hmm.
There are a lot of examples where they tell you about how Netflix's policies around giving lot of autonomy to employees. I'm just forgetting the name of the book.
No rules. I think.
Yeah. No rules. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Next question is innovation you are most excited about: space travel or artificial intelligence?
The space travel, AI, everyone's talking about. Got to a point where it's boring to hear everyone talk about AI. So it's
Okay.
space travel.
Okay. Preferred work environment: open office space or remote?
Open office, yes.
Open office space. Okay. If you could add one quality in all new hires, what would that be and why?
Resilience, right? Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Favorite way to unwind after work?
Well, I get free very late, and
Okay.
because I work later hours, so at 11 p.m. there's not a lot to do. It's just a nice drive back home, getting into the bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I was working little early hours, it would be going to a nearby market, just having a walk there, little bit. Yeah.
Great. So with that, I come to the end of the rapid fire round for Amit and Anshula. We have already finished. So that's it from my side. I think I had asked a few intelligent questions, and thank you so much, guys, for being such a sport and taking time of your busy schedule coming to discuss with me on this topic. Hopefully, you liked it. Thank you so much for joining in with this session.
Thank you so much for having us. We loved every bit of it. Thank you, Amit,
Thank you.
for being the partner in crime.
Yeah.
And we just want to wish all the best to everybody who's listening to us and all the fraternity, HR fraternity, talent acquisition. Keep doing the great work, guys. And you're always rocking. There's lots more to look forward to.
Thanks, Anshula. Thanks, Abhijit. Thanks for organizing it, Joshe. Thanks, everyone. Absolutely loved it.
Thanks,
Loved
Vijay.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Anshula. Have a great day. Thank you, Amit. Have a great
Bye.
day.